Hey everyone, Freelancing, and today we are here with a Photoshop tutorial for you. And what we'd be teaching you guys today is how you can create a bouquet of your images in Photoshop. And for achieving this effect, we'll be using filters and going over why you should use smart filters in Photoshop and how they can help you increase your workflow. Alright, so we'll just open Photoshop. So here I have opened up a image of New York City. It's a night scene of New York City, and we'll be applying filters over it so that we can achieve the bokeh effect that we are looking for. So once that's done, the image will look somewhat like this. And really, guys, this really pimps up your image and makes it more eye-catching, more professional, and more cinematic, right? And we'll be using smart filters, not to mention that, because smart filters really help you increase your workflow. And to use smart filters, you should create let's just use that. I'll just go over that when we are on it, right? So I'll just delete this bokeh layer here by pressing delete on my keyboard and just rasterize this layer for the moment, right? So for example, you have opened up your image here and want to apply some filters on there. What I recommend is using smart filters, and how to do that is right click on your image and use convert to smart object, or what you could do is go to filter and press convert for smart filters. Alright, to enable re-editable smart filter, the selected layer will be converted into a smart object. Click OK. And again, the layer gets converted into a smart object, right? So what we want to do now is that use the filters that you want the filter that we'll be using is the iris blur filter in the blur section of the filters. And once we've done that, we go over more functions of smart filters, right? So go to filter and go to blur and select iris blur, the second option. And first of all, before we do that, I want to tell you that this feature is available only in Photoshop CS6 or CC. So if you have CS5 or any of the lower versions, like before CS5, the three options of field blur and iris blur and the tilt shift won't be available to you. Alright, so be sure to have CS6 or CC if you want to achieve this effect. Right, so click on iris blur, and it will take a moment while it updates this image. And depending upon your CPU speed, the number of cores you have, or the GPU, and the speed would depend upon all that, right? And as we have the iris blur here, and you could set the amount of blur. For example, if we have that at 8 pixels, the blur will be very minimal, and you can achieve that effect of the bokeh with a low blur, but I really like when it's around 15 pixels, right? So let's have it at 15. Okay, so we'll just let that update here. And one more thing that we want to keep in mind is that a really slow transition, that is a slow gradient, a subtle transition, always catches the eyes, and it isn't that hard on the eyes. So to make the gradient a smooth one, what I want to do is select any one of these four dots between the iris section and move that inwards like so, and move the outer one a bit outside, and this one inside again, and make the top one go up, right? So that we have a larger area in our focus without the blur, and the gradient towards the blur is again very subtle, right? So once that has done updating, we can go and hop onto our bokeh. So here I have my workspace at Blur Gallery, and And the blur effects, bokeh should be check marked here, and increase the light bokeh. Okay, so let's see, maybe 29 would be alright, 29 or 30. Let that update. My computer is taking a bit of time because I have single core computer, and well, the clock speed is not that great, although I will be getting a new computer quite soon, maybe in 1 week or so, maybe by Friday, depending upon the time I upload this. Probably I'll be uploading this tutorial today. So once you have applied this bokeh here, you could just like increase that, I guess. Let's make that 40, like 42, right? And see how that looks. Keep in mind that if you increase the light bokeh, the really bright areas, such as this one in my image, would really glow up. Depending upon what you need, you might not want that, or like may even like that. So in my case, I guess that looks really nice, really great, really cool. So I will be using around 42%. Alright, and the next color that you would see is the bokeh color. And this would depend upon how much the bokeh would colorize and control, like it says, the colorfulness of the bokeh, depending upon the source of the light and the color of the source. So you could like pimp that around 20% or 30%, and I would have that at 30. Right? It really like saturates the bokeh and makes it look much more professional. And once that's done updating, we will look at the light range. So what light range would do is that the more the light range, like the more the gap between the dark and the light sliders is, it would depend. It would take more of the area into bokeh. For example, if I move the black slider towards the left, for example, at a position such as let's see, 150 or 152, or a position such as that, the bokeh would affect a larger area, because it has a larger area that it can affect in the sampling. So let's see how that turns out. Also, if you increase this, the lighter areas will glow up a lot, and also the bokeh, like in this section, would differentiate between each other and will be more vivid or visible, right? So I guess that looks pretty much neat to me. So click on OK here, and what I want to do is, after the blur has taken place, because the iris blur, tilt shift, and field blur are GPU accelerated, that'll take some time to apply to your image, right? So once that's done, we have our bokeh here, and because we use smart filters, you have these little icons here, and you have the smart filter masking option and the smart filter that you have applied here, right? So for example, again, coming back to smart filters, I want to remove some area from the bokeh. What you can do is click on the white box, which is the masking area for the filter, and move over to your brush tool, and with a soft round brush with the hardness of 0%, and as my document size is 1920 x 1080, the 500 brush is pretty much what I need, and with the foreground color set to black, you could do that by pressing D on your keyboard. The foreground color set to black, you could just paint over some areas which you don't want, where you don't want the bokeh to be. For example, if I want that the lower half of the image or the left half of the image does not have bokeh to some extent, what I could do is, while the masking is selected and brush tool at black, we could just paint over those areas, and as you see, it really removes the bokeh from those areas, right? And so you can do this with any filter. All the filters are like compatible with this feature of smart filters, and you could, if you want to makes the bokeh come back in areas which you didn't want, where you didn't want it to disappear. You could press you could press X on your keyboard, and that would switch your color to white if it was in the background. And now if you paint here, it will bring back the bokeh in those areas. Alright, so that's with the masking. And one more feature of the smart filters is that if you want to like change the values a bit after you have applied the filter, you don't need to press Ctrl Z or undo all of that. You could simply double click on the blur gallery here and select the sliders or the values that you want to apply. In this case, I would press cancel because I don't want to make any changes to this. And so basically that's it. And to top it off, we would add a vignette here. So to add that, we'll make a new layer. For example, to make a new layer, you could click on this little icon here, new layer icon, or press Ctrl Shift and N on your keyboard to make that. We can name that layer 1, or we can name that vignette. Alright, and I guess the spelling is wrong, I really don't know. So anyways, let's when you have created that image layer, press Ctrl R on your keyboard, and you could drag the slider here, like so, into the middle of the document, and from the top also, right here. Or what you could do, if you want to see your guides, what you could do is create a new guide. For example, what you could do is just bring those back. If the sliders would snap, the guides would snap into the document only if you have the snap check mark, which you can view in the view menu. And if you are not real comfortable with them snapping, or you like cannot find the area where it snaps, what you could do is go to view, new guide, and the orientation could be first of all, you can have it at horizontal and position at 50%. Alright, like so, and press OK, and go to view, new guide. You could have the position at inches or pixels or anything you want from the wide range of units in the Photoshop's menu. Yeah, but you could also put that onto percentage of the document. So this time have it at vertical, and the position again would be 50%, like so, and press OK, or press it on your keyboard and press Ctrl R to hide those rulers, and press Ctrl 0 to make this the document size. Alright, and now you want to go to your marquee tool here and hold on to it until you see the options. For example, we will have the elliptical marquee tool here, and once you selected that, go into the middle of the document where the crosshair is, and select and drag out the ellipse while holding alternate key, Alt or Option key if you're on a Mac. And while you have that held down, you would see that the ellipse comes out of the center. So we would have the vignette somewhat in this shape. Let's see. Alright, this shape looks pretty nice to me. And once you have made the selection, press Ctrl Shift and I to invert that selection, and V to move on to your move tool. And as you have your foreground color set to black, press Alt backspace to fill that area in with black, right? And the vignette we see is at the moment is quite harsh and hard. To soften that up, go to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian Blur, and add a blur, let's see, of around 150 pixels or 120 pixels, depending upon your liking. So once you've done that, you could just control the brightness of the vignette from the opacity slider. I would be having it at 100%, and hide these guides by pressing Ctrl semicolon, and move full screen by pressing F, and again pressing F and pressing Ctrl 0, and you can see your image here, and it looks pretty nice to me. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, learned something new, and this helped you out. And please guys, if you enjoyed or learned something new, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for Photoshop tutorials, Cinema 4D tutorials, Sony Vegas tutorials, and maybe in near future After Effects tutorials also. So just subscribe to my channel and like this video. You could just ignore the dislike button. Alright, so that's it for today, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.